Got everyone ready? Okay. Well, I think it's appropriate, battery recharging. That's kind of what we needed to do here, is kind of recharge our batteries last week, and I think it was been a good off week for us. We got some issues addressed, and we're ready to move on. So, got a big challenge this upcoming week, Missouri State. They're a team that has been in some very close games, very competitive games. They're a very good football team, and you know, unfortunately, we have something in common with them where we're going through a tough stretch. So, you know, you're going to see both teams putting everything they have into this game, and it's going to be a very competitive game. And then you add on the fact that this has turned into somewhat of a rivalry type game between the two schools, and there's a history there. So, you got the makings of a great college football game.
Have you decided on a starter for this week at quarterback yet, and why?
Well, we're going to go Ryan West, and just because right now his skill set is kind of what we need to do. We want to be able to do a few things offensively that suit Ryan very well. Mark Ionati is going to be available, but you know, we're fortunate that you know, Ryan has some starting experience. This isn't his first game, so you know, he knows what to expect. He knows how to prepare, and you know, that's the direction we're going.
You know, you mentioned his skill set and some things you want to do offensively. Can you elaborate more on that a little bit? What you mean by that?
Well, I'm not going to elaborate too much on it, but you know, those are just things that you do strategically, offensively, defensively. Try to do the things that give your offense the best chance for success, moving the football, maintaining drives, taking care of the football. You know, that's the other thing too that's going to be a strong point of emphasis is, you know, right now we've been working on the negative of the turnover margin, and you know, it's something else too that we need to change for us to be successful. Is we gotta do a little better in that turnover category.
How is Kijana Evans progressing? Will he
Yeah,
play?
Kijana should be good. This past week we did get a few guys healthy, and we did practice last night, which was something that normally we don't do, but just because of the off week, we gave them Friday and Saturday off. We were able to bring them back, and we gave them today off here for their NCAA day off. But you know, Kijana looked pretty good moving around. We're hoping to get Billy Reed back also, and he's a guy that was really playing well for us up until his injury, and you know, he'll be a good addition for us getting back in the lineup.
Did Billy practice last night?
Yeah, Billy's been practicing. He just needs to get the clearance by the doctors, and we're hoping we get that clearance today.
Is Courtney Richmond, is he good to go?
Courtney is good to go. Yeah, there should be no limitations on him.
And you don't expect to have Agnew available this weekend, Coach?
Right now, no. Malcolm, he'll travel with us. You know, you know, I'm hoping that he continues to progress as well as he has. I think that's been very encouraging. But you know, the doctors still have him in a boot, so you know, they want to make sure that we're smart in the rehab. He has one chance to get this right, so you got to make sure that we don't bring him back too soon.
So I imagine Tay Will's going to practice with you at least with running back reps this week?
Yep. As long as Malcolm is in the boot, you know, Tay will get reps at both the receiver and the running back position.
You know, when you look at the film, and you know, what do you think has to get better about your running game? Is it just simply your offensive line blocking a little bit better, or what is it, do you think?
Well, it's a combination. You know, number one, to give Malcolm Agnew some credit, he's pretty good. You know, when he's in the backfield, you know, I just think our confidence is a little better. You know, so that's the biggest thing that we got to improve upon right now is just our confidence in running the football, and I do think health of our offensive line should help us. This is probably as healthy of an offensive line as we've had in some time. So with Jake Notarial is another one that's I think is feeling a lot better. Tanner Crum's feeling pretty good. Ethan Worth is back. You know, so now we kind of have our offensive line back in place. So hopefully that adds to the confidence.
And your defense versus the run. I know you played 3 better teams than you had the first 6 games, but what do you think has to change there?
Well, again, versus the run, you know, that's probably the statistic that we're not doing, you know, terrible at is North Dakota State. You know, that's going to ruin your statistics there and the type of game they had against us. And then, you know, we didn't have a good day against Indiana State. So, you know, what we need to do is just, again, our third down conversions, get off the field, fall back to the offense, time of possession. I mean, all those things will help most of your defensive stats.
And how much do you think the off week helped your guys, you know, confidence, or how much do you think the 3-game losing streak kind of hurt their confidence?
Well, the thing too, number one, it's just as much as anything a mental break. This game is very demanding, and that week-to-week grind of the preparation that goes into it can be very challenging, and you know, especially when you've hit a couple bumps along the road. You know, so it just gives us a chance to re-energize more than anything else, and I think last night was a very good practice for us. I think our guys had an edge about themselves that was genuine. You know, they're anxious to get back in the mix and get after this. So, you know, I'm hoping that carries through the week.
You know, you mentioned the close games that Missouri State has had this year. How do you feel like their team kind of epitomizes, you know, the fact that they're so close to going the other direction? I know, you know, they're 1-4 in conference, but like you said, a lot of those could have gone the other way.
But you know, that's the nature of the conference. I think you're going to see a lot of games that are very close, and you know, Missouri State could have easily have won, you know, probably 3 of those games. So it's just you got to play the complete game, and I know every coach says that, but that's the reality of it. You have to play the complete game, offensively, defensively, and with the special teams to have a chance. If you don't, you're probably going to come up on the short end.
You know, they've been very good capitalizing on turnovers. What stands out to you about their defense?
Well, their defense is very similar to ours. It's a 3-4, and in fact, we probably have the same origin with that defensive concepts. So, you know, a lot of times when I'm watching other teams, getting ready for other teams, I kind of like to know that Missouri State had played them, because I'll spend a lot of time watching that film. And but they're just very aggressive. They're very take advantage of opportunities, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So you know, they're going to make you earn everything you get defensively, and they have some pretty good players that are capable of doing that.
Their quarterback had a big day running the football last year against you. How much has he developed as a passer this year?
Well, he's again a year more experienced. You know, he has some good receivers. You know, Burton especially. He had big numbers against us last year too, and he's their go-to guy. And he's healthy. Last year, he was just coming back off of an injury when they played us. And then with Harris being the dual threat, you know, a lot of times he's making his plays by using his feet. He gets moving around in the backfield, and you know, a lot of times that's where he's buying time to find his receivers, and you know, I think he has more confidence in his throwing ability now, and therefore I think you're seeing him make a few more plays through passing. Now they're a little more of a run-first type team, but if you look at their touchdown production, it's almost 2-to-1 through the air. So you know, they've been making some big plays throwing the football.
Will you have one feature back, or is it a committee again this week?
For who?
For running backs for us.
Talking us?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in the same status we were last week or 2 weeks ago. So Malcolm Agnew's not back. So you know, you got to find a combination to get the run game going, and as you get the run game going, then it'll develop. But it's I'm not quite sure what your question is, but we got to have all the running backs ready.
Well, when you had Malcolm Agnew, he was definitely the featured back.
Right.
I was asking you if you have.
I think he's asking if it's like running back by committee again.
Well, that's just the nature of the position. Yeah. Now if we get something that's working, we're going to go with it. So, but we got to find what works.
How does Missouri State utilize their 2 running backs?
Well, they actually have 3 that they rotate in and out, and you know, Crowder is just a freshman. He's pretty impressive. A little more of a power back, and then you know, Johnson's more of a, you know, he has some speed, he can get you on the perimeter. You know, so they have a nice combination. They just work the two pretty well together, and you know, that's been effective for them.
Does Harris have a lot of planned runs, just right off of the
They'll
snap?
also, you know, the zone read concepts, the give, keep type decisions that quarterbacks make nowadays, kind of your option football. That's definitely a part of it, and plus they'll just do the planned quarterback runs, which, you know, some people would put that in the wildcat category, where he's just going to snap it to him. He's going to be the running back, so you know, he's that type of quarterback.
Now, I know it's kind of a silly question, but Michael Pruitt, how do you get him involved in the offense this weekend?
Well, I think you look at what we did against Indiana State. We had him all over the field, so you know, that's still part of the plan. You know, to use his talents, look for matchups, and you know, just trying to find ways to get him the ball.
Coach, you know, did you put anything in the stock in there? You know, they're having 5 losses. They may think they're out of it, and you have a chance to still get in the playoffs if you're able to win this game. Do you anticipate them playing just as hard as it was their last game of the year?
Todd, I'm worried about us. You know, that's you know, they'll play hard. I have no doubt about that. This is a rivalry type game. Coach Allen's made no bones about that. He doesn't care too much for SIU. This has been a game that's always been circled on his calendar. For us, you know, we're in the thick of it. We're in the middle of it. We got to find our game. We haven't had our game at the level we needed it to be, and therefore there's reason for concern. So we need to worry about what we're doing, and we know they're going to give us a game. So who has the advantage? You're looking at it for kind of a media concept where they got the intangible of this over us, which, you know, that's not my concern. My concern is what our team has.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.